If you haven't seen the first 2 chapters already, definitely check them out down below. The links to those videos will be in the description. Finally, he's here. Revolver enters the world of Duel Links on his seemingly never-ending hunt for the Ignis. After Revolver was defeated by Lightning, he finally called I by his real name, which seemed to symbolize turning over a new leaf for his character. However, I went down a dark path in the very next season, where he seemingly turned on humanity, which caused Revolver to have a change of heart when it came to I. With I revived in Duel Links, it was anybody's guess what role Revolver would play in this story. Playmaker felt a chill run up his spine as Revolver confronts him in this new, mysterious world. Revolver makes his intentions known right off the bat. He is here for one reason and one reason only: to recapture and to destroy the Ignis. Revolver has very much reverted back to the beliefs he once held earlier in the VRAINS anime. He believes it's impossible for humanity to coexist with the Ignis, which was a theme that was at the core throughout the VRAINS story. Playmaker, as we've seen, believes the opposite. And so the same core values that cause these two to have such a great rivalry throughout the show leads them to yet another duel. Before we continue on with the main crux of the Revolver storyline, which obviously involves Playmaker, I want to highlight some of his other interactions with the characters. Revolver and Onizuka were 2 characters that barely had any interaction in the show. I can't even remember more than 1 or 2 sentences they exchanged directly, which is crazy considering it's the show's main rival and main girl. Well, Blue Angel actually confronts Revolver in Duel Links and tells him that she will fight to protect I for the sake of Aqua. Even though Aoi was not a Lost Incident victim, she still has a very close connection with the Ignis because of her time spent with the water Ignis, Aqua. Revolver is disgusted by this, and before he fully dismisses her, he decides to give her some insight into the world of Duel Links as a whole. As we know, Duel Links appeared within Link VRAINS, which Revolver confirms. The trait that makes Duel Links stand out is the ability it has to read and recreate memories, which is something that is beyond the realm of possibility within just Link VRAINS. It's heavily implied by Blue Angel that I may have been revived because of Playmaker's memories, but Revolver cuts her off and tells her he's done with the conversation before we get to hear any more of his thoughts on the matter. The main reason he told Blue Angel this specifically is because he wants her to tell Akira, her older brother, and the one in charge of Soul Tech currently. Revolver feels the more people analyzing Duel Links, the better. A character that had an incredible rivalry with Revolver was Soulburner. While their first duel was a dud, the rematch duel they had at the end of the anime was one of the best duels in all of Yugioh. Revolver confronts Soulburner and inquires about the whereabouts of I, after some really good back and forth banter that calls back to when Revolver wanted to turn himself in at the end of the show for all the damage he was responsible for in the VRAINS. We get back to the core issue, whether or not the Ignis can coexist with humanity. Much like Playmaker and Blue Angel, Soulburner has a very strong connection with the Ignis, specifically to the fire Ignis, Flame. Soulburner exclaims that not all of the Ignis were evil, and it was really just lightning and windy that caused the battle against humans. Revolver feels I turned against humanity, but Soulburner defends I, saying it was because humanity turned against him first. Soulburner claims he is living for Flame, while Revolver claims he is living for his father. These themes were massively important for both of these characters in their rivalry, so I'm glad we are able to see them hold firmly on these beliefs. Another character Revolver speaks with is Go, who has returned to his former glory as a charisma duelist at this point. The two of them have had a bit of dueling history, as it was Revolver who defeated him near the end of Season 1, and you know what they say, mirror force changes a man. It's true, Go was never the same after his defeat against Revolver. Well, until now, I guess. Go challenges Revolver to a duel, claiming he's on no one's side in this fight. Revolver brings up the Earth Ignis, which is a memory that hasn't come across Go's mind in quite some time. While Go seems to regret what he did to Earth, he doesn't view the Ignis the same way Playmaker, Soulburner, and Blue Angel do. Go never had a close connection with really any of the Ignis, and states that he isn't living for Earth or fighting to avenge Earth in any way. Go's main motivator has always been to be a hero that kids can look up to, and while he deviated from that path greatly in Season 2, he is currently doing everything he can in order to achieve that status once again. Revolver, frustrated by this, demands that Go moves out of his way, as he doesn't view Go as a necessary opponent in this fight since he doesn't have an alliance with the Ignis. However, Go wants to defeat Revolver to prove that he is the toughest duelist there is. This is a trait that Revolver has always greatly respected. We cut back to Revolver and Playmaker's confrontation. Revolver understands that Playmaker is not going to give up Eye willingly and believes force is the only way. Playmaker tries his best to reason with Revolver in order to avoid a duel. This dialogue is similar to the one Revolver shared with Soulburner. Playmaker believes the other Ignis outside of Lightning wanted to live in peace, but Revolver rebuttals by stating what Eye did in the final season of the show. Playmaker gives Revolver the truth about Eye and about what happened at the end of the story. You have to remember, the only two characters who witnessed the final duel of VRAINS were Playmaker and Eye themselves, and after that duel, Eye was eliminated, and Playmaker disappeared and went no contact with everyone. So truly, nobody really knew what happened exactly in that final fight, which is interesting to think about. Playmaker states that Eye truly wanted to just erase himself, and if he actually wanted to destroy humanity, he would have just destroyed it without any caveats, which actually makes a lot of sense. After some intentionally hilarious dialogue from Revolver, thanking Playmaker for defeating and temporarily eliminating Eye, the two once again start to explode at each other over their clashing ideologies regarding the Ignis, and so we have another Playmaker versus Revolver duel on our hands. As the duel between the two progresses, Playmaker calls out Revolver and asks him if he's still a prisoner of his past, which is definitely a deep wound given all that has happened between these two. Revolver thinks back to memories of him and his father, and he once again confidently states that he will fulfill his father's wishes. The duel rages on. The next time we see Playmaker, he seems to be in trouble. His face indicates he's in discomfort, and even Eye tells him to stop flatlining, which could be an indicator that the damage from one of Revolver's attacks actually caused him to pass out for a second or two, something that's not unfamiliar territory in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. Somehow, Playmaker was able to survive the turn, and before he takes his turn, he tells Revolver that their destinies have always been intertwined, which dates back even to the Lost incident. And if Playmaker is able to change, then Revolver can too. And once you let go of the past, the future is wide open for you to create anything you can think of. Super wise and super insightful words from Playmaker. On his very next turn, it's very heavily implied that he defeats Revolver. Playmaker, now with Soulburner by his side, pleads for Revolver to stop, and it seems after this defeat, Revolver has finally come to his senses and states there was no need for the duel as the fight was settled long ago. Revolver reiterates that he trusts Playmaker with the fate of mankind, but states that if Eye ever becomes a threat again, he will intervene immediately and he will constantly be monitoring and watching the network. He also leaves us with a chilling thought. If Eye was resurrected, the other Ignis may be resurrected as well. Good news for Soulburner and Blue Angel, but potentially catastrophic news for humanity if Lightning gets revived. Revolver leaves Playmaker and Soulburner with that chilling thought before seemingly logging out of Duel Links in order to monitor it from a distance. And with that, another chapter concludes in the post-VRAINS story via Duel Links. We don't know what character will be coming next, but what I do know for sure is that the mysteries and the storylines of VRAINS will continue to develop as these events go on. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Chapter 3. If you have not seen the first 2 chapters, which coincide with the first 2 character events, or really the first character event and the formal launching of VRAINS World and Duel Links, please check them out. They will be linked down below. I'm just so happy we continue to get to experience a VRAINS storyline and a canon sequel, most likely, to Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS through Duel Links. It's super cool, and any predictions you have on where this story could take us next, please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Goosey Q and Panther J, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, and Elaine, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Pink Penguin. Be sure to check out my Patreon for additional channel perks. Thank you to everybody who is a patron or channel member. You guys help me out tremendously. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content, and I hope you have an amazing day.